2023 Honda HR-V Review, Homey meets Homely.
But before we start, please support us by pressing like and subscribe buttons. Also turn on the bell notification to get the latest updates. Your support means a lot to us. Thank you.
As the oldest vehicle in Honda's lineup, the outgoing HR-V was well overdue for replacement, but that didn't make it a bad vehicle. With the innovative, flip-up rear magic seat and plenty of space for 4 passengers, its comfortable cabin and teensy exterior rivaled Mary Poppins' carpet bag for packaging efficiency. Still, with competitors like the stylish Mazda CX-30, turbocharged Kia Seltos, and sensible Toyota Corolla Cross arriving in the last couple years, Honda's entry-level crossover needed to evolve. Gone is the fit-based platform, and the magic seat along with it, replaced on the 2023 HR-V with the Civic's more conventional bones. The Civic also donated a good chunk of its interior design details, helping the HR-V feel much more mature and stylish than most of its competition. But the bland exterior design and upsized dimensions hide a cabin that's not much more spacious than before, and the HR-V is a bit on the pricey side. Although no one would call the outgoing HR-V pretty, it was at least pretty distinctively styled. The 2023 model, however, is just plain dull. A drooping front end and trapezoidal grille opening recall the Ford Escape, hardly a high watermark for beauty, and the stubby tail is likewise featureless and bland. The Nordic Forest Pearl paint is a worthy use of $395, providing subtle sophistication to the merely adequate sheet metal shapes. Inside, it's a completely different story. The Civic donates its dashboard mesh to the HR-V, hiding the air conditioning vents behind some Kennedy-era style. However, the crossover's overall design theme is rounder than the rectilinear Civic, with a bulging shift binnacle that invokes Honda's legendary sport bikes. Very cool. A half-digital instrument cluster is the only big design misstep. Why not just make the whole gauge display powered by pixels? In the transition from the Fit platform to the Civics, the HR-V has lost some of its packaging magic. The Civic's fuel tank is under the rear seat, while the Fit's was beneath the front passenger. With less rear head and legroom than its predecessor, it's hard not to ask where's the beef when looking at the new HR-V's longer, wider exterior footprint. There's also less headroom up front, as well as less shoulder room front and rear and less maximum cargo space with the seats down. But while Honda's entry in the subcompact class has decidedly average numerical measurements, it's as comfortable, if not more so, than both its predecessor and its primary rivals. The driver and front passenger get excellent bucket seats, while the 60/40 split-folding rear bench has better thigh support and a more natural seating position than the outgoing HR-V and the current Toyota Corolla Cross. The Honda also feels airier and less cramped than the Corolla Cross and Mazda CX-30. Thanks in part to big windows and good outward sightlines. And in addition to the adequately sized cargo area, with a truly flat-folding rear seat, there's abundant space to stash your gear in the passenger cabin. The center console boasts an open storage area just aft of the shift binnacle, looking a bit like a seat in our motorcycle metaphor, while a big armrest cubby offers plenty of space and a big lid that makes sorting through it easier. Every Honda HR-V comes standard with a partially digital instrument cluster, combining a 7.0-inch screen for the tachometer and onboard computer with a traditional, analog speedometer. The HR-V LX and Sport get a 7.0-inch center touchscreen with wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, while my EXL Tester's 9.0-inch display gets wireless integration. Unusually, the infotainment system doesn't include any sort of embedded navigation. Most owners will use Google Maps or Waze, but in cases where you're lost and away from cell service, your phone isn't going to be of any use. That's the only complaint I can levy at the tech suite, which boasts crisp graphics, good touch response, and simple operation. First, the bad news. The 2023 Honda HR-V isn't particularly athletic when it's time to put the hammer down. The biggest culprit is a low torque rating of just 138 pound-feet, though the 158 horsepower is also a bit lackluster. The Toyota Corolla Cross has 169 ponies and 151 torques, while the optionally turbocharged Kia Seltos pegs the dyno at 195 for both units of measure. The HR-V, meanwhile, has to be coaxed up a mountain grade, its uninspiring CVT and coarse engine note making it sound like the car is working even harder than it is. If only Honda had given the HR-V the same 1.5-liter turbo as the Civic, because it plain needs more grunt. But aside from the dull powertrain, the HR-V is actually pretty fun to drive. A multi-link rear suspension comes standard across the board. Some cars in this class make do with a twist beam rear, giving the Honda the sort of composure you'd expect from a more expensive vehicle. Limited body roll and accurate steering make it easy to preserve momentum through corners, and the brakes are likewise confidence-inspiring.
Thanks for watching. Drop a like. Leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe to watch more videos like this.